Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Away Gooners Podcast. This is Pop here. I know we usually do all our previews and reviews through recordings where we bring in guests and then we talk about the game, and then we move forward from there. But then this is no ordinary game. This is one of those red letters day in the Premier League fixture list. This is a game which gives exciting feeling to every football fan, not just Arsenal or United fans as such. Because over the years we probably with both the teams have sort of lost their sheen, but then this fixture still stands out as one of the most important ones in football. And with me along, Bob, I'm being joined by two exciting guests, Cahill and Kojo. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good. Can't complain.
All good, all good.
How are you?
Nervous. How are you, man?
Yeah, no, nervous is just an understatement that I would say because this game is I don't think anyone can be not nervous, because if with both the fans and even with the fact that Arsenal is currently flying high with 5 wins in five, still makes all of the fans nervous looking at this game. This is by far their toughest opponent as what is being built by the plaudits. I think we'll go with the same narrative from our side as well. So guys, tell me about yourselves. You guys have your own podcast in three in the midfield. So tell me about it.
Off you go, Kojo.
Okay, cool. So Free Midfield is a podcast that me, Kale, and our our brother, I must say our very close friend, our brother, Darren, started together, I think now 7 years ago, I believe, if I'm correct. The year that Leicester won the league. Yeah, the year that Leicester won the league was our first season.
Yeah.
So we've been running it that along. It's been fantastic. We've enjoyed every ride of it. We have guests, we have interviews, footballers, journalists, and more importantly, just football fans in general. We'll come talk about the big game. So Free Midfield is the audio and the socials. The match report is on the YouTube channel. That's where we, more than anything, talk our stuff. So come check us out, Free Midfield.
Awesome. Now, great stuff there, guys. Because I've been following your channel for quite recently along, and then the content that you put in there is quite amazing. I'll put in more description, as we publish this video. But then, definitely people who are listening to it, feel free to follow the channel and then support the guys. It's really good. Now, tell me, guys, which of you is an Arsenal fan and which one is in United?
I mean, obviously, the best looking one's the Arsenal fan. So that's me. So there we go.
You know what? Yeah. I was gonna say in the intro, my handsome, very very handsome co-host, but I knew you were gonna say some Arsenal stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me leave that out.
There we go.
And you started already.
We started already, man. We started already.
Yeah, no more. I'm the United fan. The team that stopped your unbeaten run and is looking to do that again. So here we are.
Mate, this is just 5 games unbeaten. Like, right? don't even get into the 49 games. But going back to that, it's interesting that you brought that up because I still have a lot of anger from that game. I can't seriously get over the fact that that was a complete dive by Rooney first of all in that game.
It was, man.
Like penalty, right? Like, have a straight face. Look at yourself in the mirror and give an answer if it was not a dive.
He kicked his leg. Sol Campbell kicked his leg and he fell over. What do you want to say?
They should have really had VARs back then. Or probably I should say, VARs, I'm still not sure if in case that would give the right judgment, but still.
Especially after yesterday, man. There's a whole bunch of decisions that were just horrible in the Premier League. It's crazy. But yeah, man. I mean, we have a special history to Arsenal and Manchester United. So it all comes down to penalties, doesn't it? So Van Nistelrooy scored that penalty, then we don't go unbeaten. If Bergkamp scored that penalty, they don't get the treble. So
Yeah.
It works like that, I'm afraid. But anyway, referee decision in Arsenal. Let's not talk. We'll get into that. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure we will get there. Yes. Now coming into this game, I'll start with you, Kojo. So coming into this game, I know, I mean, at the back of the defeat against Brentford, obviously your transfer kitty was doubled up overnight, and then the Glazers out are suddenly gone, I suppose. So you did sign two awesome players in Casemiro and Anthony. So how are you guys satisfied with the transfer window? Obviously, you did sign Dubravka as well from Newcastle. So how have you guys been satisfied with the whole recruitment and things in general with the transfers?
It's been another hit and miss window. Because I mean, if you tell someone that we signed Casemiro, Anthony, Martinez, a young left back in Malacia, a decent backup goalkeeper in Dubravka, and you've managed to keep Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, it doesn't sound like a really bad window. But the issue with Man United is they were going after targets that were just unattainable, like Frankie de Jong, for so long. And if Casemiro was part of the plan, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Casemiro fan. So whether he came early in the window or now, I don't care. He's here and he's a wonderful footballer to have at the club. But if the plan was to get Casemiro from early, I would have hoped that we would have tried to make that move much earlier in the window rather than now, because it helps with the manager as well with his pre-season. Helps help him integrate players into the squad. Martinez came quickly, Ericsson came quickly, Malacia came quickly. So if the plan was to get, I know Anthony was a part of the plan as well. We should have done that much earlier as well. But if Anthony and Casemiro were the two biggest names, if they were a part of the plan, you got to get it done sooner, just to help the manager. Yeah. He's a new manager. He wants to build his team quickly, and you want to make sure that he has the easiest run into the season possible, and they didn't do that for him. So it's always hit and miss with United. You would always hope that they'd be a lot more efficient in the window. You look at City and how they got Haaland immediately. With you guys, as soon as the season was over last year, we heard the links between you and Gabriel Jesus, and even though Arsenal didn't announce it, if you follow social media, you knew that was a done deal already. So Arteta knew the play that was coming. So we want that same efficiency back, because United used to have that. The blueprint was always there. We kind of ruined it. So, I'm satisfied, and I'm hoping that we see Casemiro and Anthony today more than anything, because they're huge upgrades on what we've had in right wing and defensive midfield.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, Casemiro overnight, he would be an addition in any team, let alone be United. So, but yeah, I mean, I noticed that with Anthony's deal, it was churning in the back. Even at the start of the summer, they did want Anthony. They did want someone up front, who's quite prolific enough, and then someone who Ten Hag knows, obviously. And Anthony fitted the bill. Surprised with the transfer fee involved there.
Yeah.
But then with Casemiro, I felt a bit strange, because all along we've been putting all the eggs in Frankie de Jong, and then it felt more like a panic buy in terms of who's the next best sort of person available, to do the midfield linchpin role, and that's how I think you had ended up with Casemiro. I still have my doubts along with that, because he's obviously 30 years old. He's not any younger. And then, he's got his last big paycheck at Real. There wasn't any big feeling that, he had any future there with the signings that they have made. So if not now,
I mean, with Anthony, firstly, I mean, that's why I was talking about efficiency early in the window, because it's come out that if we had bid much earlier in the window, like more seriously, we'd have got Anthony for 55 million. We've paid 40 million more for a player that we could have got for 55 million. And in terms of Casemiro, the one reason why I don't mind Casemiro is because we've missed experience. And when I say experience in that midfield, I'm talking about someone that's played at the highest level in the biggest games and that's performed, and number two is a winner. There's no one on this planet that can tell you that Casemiro is not a winner. That'll be a lie. And we've missed that kind of linchpin in the midfield. The age doesn't concern me, because what I've noticed with some of those Real Madrid players, well, I'll say some, the three in particular, Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric, as they get better with age. Now, with Real Madrid, the argument could be that, you know, they've signed two younger guys in Camavinga and Tuchemeni. They're not Casemiro type players, but obviously they're looking towards the future. I'm not concerned about why they let him go. Apparently, he was looking for a new challenge anyway. He was ready to make the move to United, and he wants to help United. You know, he sees it as a challenge. This is a team that used to be great. Right now, they're not great. So what can I do to help that? I admire that. I admire that. It's something that he didn't need to do, which I don't understand why he's doing it in the first place, but he's doing it anyway. So, you know, the age doesn't concern me. We didn't sign him for a massive fee when you talk about fees in today's market and how the market goes with transfers. So if we can get a great level of performance from him for the next 3 years, I'm good. That's money well spent. That's a top player. So, and to be honest, we signed one of the best, if not the best DM on the planet. So one of not, you know, it's arguable. People say Fabinho, other people. So yeah,
it's one of those things where when you mentioned age, and he said 30, he's like 30. 30 is nothing in today's game, man. He can go for another 5 years. It's one of those things with United. It's like, imagine they bought him last year and what they could have achieved with the midfield that they had at the disposal. Now they don't have the same caliber. Pogba's obviously missing. I can't remember who else was there, but that's obviously the main guy that you would want someone like Casemiro to join up with. But Casemiro, man, like score of very, very important goals in Champions League finals, and like Coach just said, the linchpin in that Madrid midfield. It doesn't matter who he's playing with, whether it was Casemiro, whether it was Kroos or Modric or Tchouaméni and Camavinga. He's an absolute professional. He's an absolute warrior, and he's Casemiro, and I think he's a fantastic addition to this Manchester United side. I'm glad that is come now because his partners are Christian Eriksen, Scott McTominay, and Fred. So
it's actually started playing well. It's scary. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, but wow. He's playing all right.
No, I tried not to laugh there, but then when Coach started, I couldn't control myself. but yeah, no, I think just like one of the guys have said, the profiles of people, I mean, the signings which United are making seems like Arsenal, trying to bring in quality names rather than what they can actually do. Indeed, on the pitch, it's still an open question whether Casemiro can actually come in and settle down here. That's still a big if, because we all thought Varane, when he was signed lesser than obviously what Ben White was actually signed for, we all thought, or many of them were actually suggesting that United had a better deal in terms of the whole thing. But then if you look at through the course of the season, then of course Ben White had a better impact, at least from looking at one season that White has played in an Arsenal defense as compared to what Rafael Varane has actually done at United. So the jury is still open, so we'll see. Now coming to today's game, I know, I mean, many of them have actually built this in a different way. So it's not Arsenal versus United. As what the headline goes, it's Arsenal versus the referee, as what many of them are saying. How
Here we go.
No, really, because obviously when you look at Paul Tierney, who's been appointed the referee there, he's actually from Salford, which is not, which is Manchester itself. And then even when you look at VAR, it's going to be by Lee Mason, who's again from Greater Manchester. So what's your thoughts, guys?
What's my thoughts? I mean, that comment right there makes this game a proper throwback, because it was always Arsenal versus the referees when it came to Arsenal versus Manchester United. Because Fergie, if you look through the history of that game, I'm very surprised that Howard Webb hasn't been brought back to referee this game, because boy, they've always had the luck of the referees on this side. It's been that way, but then again, they were the big side. Now it's a bit different, so maybe, just maybe, the referees might be professional. Not good. Don't get twisted. They won't be good today, and Kojo will agree with that as well. They won't be good today. It'll be very poor. but because that's the standard of English refereeing. But they might be professional. Coach, you can take it away from me because I feel like you're disagreeing with me. Go on.
The referees suck, but you know the chant same old Arsenal always cheating did not come from us. That came across the whole country. So
come on, man.
It's
so
rhythmical.
you guys and referees, Perez was diving and getting away with it.
Hey, the referees didn't catch it. The referees aid you guys.
Martin Keown became a UFC fighter when Van Nistelrooy missed a penalty.
that was actually redemption, man. Seriously, if you look at the incident before, Roy dived to get that penalty. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
So okay. So he missed the penalty, and the guy goes and forearms his shoulder blades as
he was over celebrating, and then Nistelrooy just happened to be up front just in front of him.
Yeah, he was jumping for joy.
You know what? In that case today, in that case, I want Saliba to be RKO'd by Casemiro.
Oh wow, there we go.
That's my comeback.
There we go.
That's my comeback.
I think he'll get recorded for that, I believe. That would be a genuine foul. Like we said, Keown was just so happy that Van Nistelrooy missed the penalty, and Van Nistelrooey just happened to be there.
So he jumped and he was like, "Oh wait, sorry, you're there, mate. My apologies."
Where else is he going to put his arms, Kojo? Come on, where else?
I guess Mandem finishing the game and then immediately grabbing pizzas and throwing that at people as well was an accident as well.
That's a different story, and I feel like a few players got suspended for that as well. So they got caught.
Yeah, rightfully so. Firstly, you shouldn't be eating pizza straight after the game. And number two,
Arsenal should be tried for that. I don't know why he allowed it.
Yeah, no. In terms of the referees, look, even if they come from near enough where Old Trafford is, referees suck, man. There's going to be something stupid for both teams. That's how it's going to be. And thirdly, if you want more referees from, London, well, namely Islington, train.
They don't promote, man. They don't promote. It's the same referees year in, year out, man.
No, actually, talking about that, there's actually a urgent, look into the refereeing, especially after last night's games. I mean, it was quite disgraceful, because, despite having all the technology and everything in place, for them to make not one but two wrong decisions within the space of a day, means that it's quite heartening to look at the state of refereeing there. I mean, they have a lot of technology they're implemented at Finsbury Park, so I expect them to do really better. And then if a team goes on to gain points as a result of that, it's quite criminal to look at it. So yeah. Sorry.
It used to be the case that when referees made such bad mistakes, they would get punished and they'd be moved down to the Championship. But it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And on those decisions, ultimately the decision comes down to the referee on the pitch. Like he had multiple angles. He looked at it. He didn't have to take on the advice from the guys at Stockley Park, but he did because I don't know. I feel like they just don't want they're I don't want to say cowardly, but they don't want to they don't want to get anything wrong. And by thinking or by believing that the referee has all the angles in Stockley Park, that they probably have it correct in their head. So that's why they choose to change their minds on the night. And boy, it was wrong yesterday. It's very wrong.
Yeah, no, totally. No team deserves to get lost, based on those circumstances. It was fair, when we looked at the Everton Liverpool game, that the goal actually got disallowed, quite rightly so. But then, quite shocking to look at the West Ham game as well as the Newcastle. Anyway, now coming into this game, I know United are actually coming at the back of 3 wins, and then we obviously have our best start, and then been completely unbeaten. Now, Cahill, what's your thoughts on Arsenal this season and the signings that we made? So how confident are you that this team can actually finish the job that it started last season? We narrowly missed on top 4 with injuries or whatsoever that you can say. But then, how confident are you that this Arsenal, can actually reach that level or even further up the table?
I'm not going further up. I'm gonna sit comfortably in 4th place. I feel like this is a team that can very much achieve that. We look very confident. We're playing some very nice football. We look solid at the back, especially with the addition of Saliba, who I mean, Coach can attest to this. I've been singing that boy's praises for like 3 years now, and it's a damn shame that it's taken us so long to put him into the team. But I'm glad he's here now, and I'm glad that he's thriving. But I'm going to have to admit, a lot of these players have surprised me. Zinchenko surprised me. He's been quite solid, and Gabriel Jesus has surprised me. He's looking like an R9 regen. I'm only joking, not R9. But he's been absolutely fantastic. You can't complain about his impact to the team. He's looked miles ahead and miles better than what Lacazette was offering last season. His finishing is actually it's actually phenomenal. Like he's got so much composure. And I didn't really expect that, considering that in his Manchester City days he did miss a few chances here and there. But at Arsenal he's been nothing short of fantastic. In terms of our chances at getting top four, it all comes down to whether or not the teams around us continue to suck. I mean, Manchester City haven't exactly got off in the best of starts. Chelsea definitely haven't. United are starting to get up there. Liverpool definitely haven't as well. So it's between us and Tottenham, I'd say, in terms of top four. So if we can,
you still think Liverpool are up there at the top?
No, don't get wrong. Liverpool will eventually climb up the table. They will get back to their winning ways. I think it will go down to City, Liverpool in the top two race, and Arsenal and Tottenham in the top four race.
How bad it would be if you think, looking at the fact that we obviously needed a central midfielder as well as a winger, and we didn't get to sign anyone, to close up the window. So how bad would that actually come back to bite us?
It depends on injuries, man. It really does depend on injuries. Obviously Thomas Partey is injured now, and the less said about him, the better. But I think Jacques has been fantastic, and his leadership next to Lokonga will aid us in the long run. Plus, we can always put Zinchenko in the central midfield, because even though I don't believe he was signed to play centre midfield, he can play centre midfield, and that's always going to be a bonus in terms of the options that we have. But I really wanted Tielemans, man. I really wanted Tielemans. I mean, even today, I mean, if you did see the game, he provided a fantastic assist for Patson Daka today. And that quality is something that we're going to desperately miss. But then again, we also need to see if this Vieira kid can play as well, because I'm very interested into seeing what he can bring to this team. Even though he will probably play an attacking midfield role, maybe he can drop a bit deeper, because he is very controlled on the ball. Reminds me much of Santi Cazorla in terms of both feet. Not in terms of the quality Santi Cazorla was in a league of his own, but in terms of what he can do with the ball at his feet, looks very promising. So maybe it might come to bite us in the butt, but I don't think it will. I think we'll secure top four this season.
Okay. Now, talking about the similar thing, about United, how do you feel, Kojo, about United's prospect of finishing in the top four?
It's a weird one for me, because honestly, at the beginning of the season, I've not had any expectations about Man United for the last 3 or 4 years, because I've never known what to expect. And when I say that, that's not me saying that, maybe they go for a title challenge, not even close. But I didn't know if United were going to be a top 4 or top 6 club, or even a top 8. You know what I'm saying? But this season's odd, and the reason why I say this season's odd is because City have got quality. Haaland is a monstrous signing. You've seen the goals he's scoring already. He'll score goals, but they're dropping silly points here and there. It's a bit weird. Liverpool have started poorly. They're not looking anywhere near the team they were. Their usual reliable players are not reliable. Chelsea are another team where I always say with Chelsea, you just never know what's going to happen with them. They could be a team that finishes 5th and then they win the league the next year. This year, they've signed Koulibaly, they've signed Sterling, they've signed Fofana's coming, and they don't look any better. That West Ham game, they shouldn't have even got away with a win. That was a draw all day. VAR costing West Ham the points, so they got away with it. So you don't know what team is going to turn up with there. With Arsenal, you guys have started fantastically well. I think it's the first time in I don't know how many years or so.
17
that you won 5 straight at the beginning of the season, which is fantastic. But I'm sure with you two, you will know that, or you will feel like you just don't know what it is till later on, because Arsenal, you just never know, And Tottenham as well. Tottenham have had spells in recent years where they've been so good, and then out of nowhere, they've reverted back to type, and it's just like you don't know. So it's a bit weird for me. I don't know if I can say United can get no. I'll rephrase that. United can get top four, but United are also unreliable. So this season is big, but you've seen the changes. We started the first two games disgustingly poorly, and he's made namely three main changes in the midfield. In the team. Fred is now on the bench on a more consistent basis. You don't see Shaw, you don't see Maguire, and the three players that have come in their place have made United look a lot better than they have in recent time. So that could be huge for United. Casemiro hasn't started yet. Anthony's now been another addition to the team that's starting to pick up form. Ronaldo's not even got minutes yet. So it looks promising on our side as well. But it just depends on one, if we can keep these players fit, because you mentioned Varane. Varane last season, his main issue was lack of fitness.
Yeah.
He wasn't available. So far, he's been available. But when he gets, I'm saying when, because I don't think he'll be fit for 100% of the season. When it's time for him to sit out maybe 2 or 3 games, who goes next to Martinez? That's a big problem. Malacia, I don't know. I think he's been good with injuries in his whole career so far, but he's still a young boy. You don't want to burn him out. When Shaw comes back in, can you rely on Shaw? It's just a weird one. United can get top 4.
Okay.
I think City will still win the league, but I said it earlier to Cahill. I don't think Liverpool are finishing second this year. I really don't think so. And honestly, looking at how they're playing right now, I don't know where they're gonna finish. which is in the same thing for me to say, because Van Dijk, Salah gets goals, no matter what. Diaz has performed very well already.
I watched the game yesterday, the Everton Liverpool game. It more looked like every time when we see that, it was more looking like Everton are going to be scoring, not Liverpool.
Yeah,
they had a few chances, yes, for sure, but then this Liverpool team suddenly has a soft underbelly that we've not seen, 2 or 3 seasons before, and they were sort of rock solid, but it looked like, there are cracks starting to appear in this team. And as you said, Koja, I go with the same thing. I don't think, Liverpool are going to be finishing in the top 2. There might be changes there up the top, but it's a long season, so we don't know what's going to happen. Now, coming to the question of the United bench, obviously, Ronaldo has been benched, something which he has not actually been seeing. There's a question which has been asked as to Ronaldo, he's got his favorite opponents in Arsenal. Now, do you think that will warrant a start for him in this game?
I don't think he's gonna start. He does well against Arsenal. That's true, but firstly with that statement, he does well against most people. So that's not just an Arsenal thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. But the reason why I feel like he might not start is because I feel like Ten Hag is looking to use him as more of an impact player because of his age. And you saw against Leicester, he didn't score, but he played quite well. Came off the bench, his runs were better. He linked up better. It was easier for his players to find him, where it was out wide in the middle of the pitch. But I feel like for what Ten Hag wants to do, Rashford in the middle is working for him so far. Sancho is undroppable right now because he's been our best player, definitely going forward anyway. So now the question is, it's crazy. I'm saying Elanga, Anthony, or Ronaldo. That sounds ridiculous. Why is Elanga even part of that conversation? But Elanga has worked. You know what I'm saying? Elanga has worked for him so far. So we shall see. But I think you're going to see a front three of Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony today.
Okay. The lineups are going to be out in a minute, and then we'll obviously take a closer look at that once they're out. But there's actually a leaked lineup circulating along, and that says that more likely that Anthony will get his first start. There was actually news yesterday that he would be getting his start against Sociedad, during the course of the next midweek game. But then it more looks like he would be in the starting lineup. That's what the league's lineup says. Obviously, we'll get to it. Now, coming to the Arsenal side, Cahill, there's been some injury concerns on our captain, and as well as on Ramsdale. So how positive is it looking at the fact that they've traveled along with Zinchenko as well, who's traveled there to Manchester? So how confident that you think that they would be fit and ready to be making a starts against United?
I don't know. It's I didn't keep up, so I don't know what type of injuries they had. I know Zinchenko was out last week as well, but I mean, we need our best players for this game. This is going to be this is our first big test, and the last time we had a big test, that was one of the first, was it 2-3 games? So that was last season. It was City and Chelsea, and without our key players, we got absolutely smoked. Now, I'm not saying that this Manchester United team can or has the ability to, well, right now to absolutely batter us, but they're very dangerous, especially with the new signings in Anthony, who you said might be starting. I think the lineup is out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's out. I can give it to you right now. So for you, Manchester United, De Gea is in goal. Dalot, Varane, Martinez, and Malacia. Eriksen and McTominay holding. Fernandes, Sancho, Anthony, and Rashford is up top. Arsenal is
I'm just trying to open that up, scrambling to open.
Not loaded up. So, Thomas Partey, I don't think Partey's in the team. Odegaard's not in the team. Zinchenko, Ramsdale, and yeah.
I've got a team for you. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. So it's weird, huh? Ramsdale in goal, Ben White right back, Zinchenko left back, Saliba and Gabriel in the middle, Lokonga and Xhaka in the middle, and then Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and of course Gabriel Jesus.
All right, so I think it's a sweet surprise on the left back with Zinchenko coming back. But yeah, I mean, we were sort of expecting Sambi to partner with Xhaka for the midfield. How do you think? I mean, Sambi, of course, had a very decent game. You could say against Villa. So how do you think he would be against? Of course, a technically bigger opposition in United.
I'm one of his biggest fans among the fan base. I mean, the fan base really turned on him last season. I mean, you have to realize that he's a young kid. His first time at a big club in Arsenal and playing in the Premier League is no joke. And up until what was it? I think somebody came back from injury. I think it was Thomas came back from injury. He was just dropped, and I think he played very well. So I'm very excited to see him in the team. I'm very excited to see what he can do, especially at this game. He's very progressive, and that's what we do miss in terms of our holding midfielders. A very progressive passer, someone who doesn't like to pass sideways, someone who likes to take risks. So I'm excited to see what he can do in this team. I think he can do a job against Eriksen and who else is it? McTominay as well. So I think he can hold his own against him. I think Bruno Fernandes will be Xhaka's main concern. So I'm happy that he's in the team. I'm happy he gets a chance to prove himself, and I think he'll do well today.
Yeah, totally. No, I think we have to be patient with obviously Sambi, because he's a young lad, coming in from Belgium. It's no easy step, and of course we wait our expectations on him all the time, and that's definitely a case that we'll have to be patient with. Obviously, he get to prove as much, as what many of them doubt him to be. Midfielder now coming to United, so obviously we see that Anthony is starting the game. So, Kojo, what's your expectations? Having come from a different league, and then sort of. He was fit, obviously, that we know, but then he sort of towards the end forced his way through to United. So how do you think, he would be in his first game?
I think he'll be okay. I'm not expecting him to do score or assist. I think that'd be quite ridiculous at this point. I think we just need to let him settle into the game and into the team. Now, the good thing for him is obviously he has worked with this manager, so the style of football it's nothing new to him. It's not alien. So he will settle in that aspect, but he's got different teammates, and the link-up's going to be very different. So how he adapts to that's going to be very key. I mean, someone like Sancho, I think, suits him. Shorter passing, get into space, all that. Has he got the ability to maybe find Rashford who will make more runs in behind? Who knows? when Ronaldo comes on, he's a bit more of a target man rather than a running behind. So are you going to try and play aerial balls? We be able to adapt to that. And how are you going to work with Dallo, which is one hell of a challenge because Dallo is also a very hit and miss player. When he's good, he's good, and when he's terrible, he is absolutely abysmal. So we'll see. But I think he'll be okay. Yeah, I think he'll probably play about 60, 70 minutes. But obviously, if he starts on fire, he's starting 90 minutes. That's how it goes, obviously, isn't it? But I think 60 to 70 minutes will do him good in his first game. It's at home debut as well at Old Trafford. Fans will be behind him. They'll support him. Yeah, I think it's nothing better than this occasion to start him in this game.
Now coming to the key duels, guys, obviously there is actually a lot of areas where you could expect some interesting battles to come along. One thing that I'll be really looking for is Gabriel Jesus versus Lisandro Martinez. Martinez obviously is a player that Arsenal were actually going along at the start of the summer, but then as his price got up, they had obviously better choices in Zinchenko, I suppose, in terms of what Arsenal needed. But coming to the key battles, so how do you think the Jesus versus Martinez battle would be, and what other battles that you would obviously see from this game?
Cool.
It's gonna be an interesting one. They called him the Butcher for a reason. So he's going up against a striker that's similar in height and build, and they're both quite scrappy. So it's going to be a very interesting battle. I think Jesus might have the trickery as well, just to edge that one out. Well, I'm hoping he has the trickery to edge that one out. So I think in that regard, we'll perform quite well. I think Anthony versus I think it'll be Tierney. In the end, Tierney's playing, right?
No, Zinchenko's left back.
Zinchenko's left back. Oh yeah, that will concern me because I've seen what Anthony can do at Ajax, and he is quite tricky. He is quite quick, and coming back from an injury into a big pressure game like this is going to weigh heavy on Zinchenko. So that one does concern me. But everywhere else, I don't know. I'm pretty calm. I think Saliba will handle Rashford quite calmly. He doesn't seem to be phased by attackers with pace because he's quite nippy himself. He's big, he's strong, he knows how to win the ball in the air, and you don't have to worry about that with Rashford. So I think defensively we'll be fine. I honestly believe we're going to go into this game on the back foot, looking to counter and break them down at any and every opportunity that we can. And with their defenders, I think we can do that. I think we'll have a good time. I think we'll might edge it. Maybe 2-1. Maybe 2-1.
All right. Okay. You went on with the prediction as well, one step too far. So, yeah, no, all good. I'll
reverse it. I think we'll win it. I'll stop there. Boom. There we go.
Kojo, so what do you think would be the key battles in this game? Obviously, we spoke about Zandro. So, any other battles that you would see?
An interesting one for me is Malacia versus Saka, because Saka's come into the Arsenal side. He's been a vibrant talent for you guys, and I think someone like Malacia, who's also young and is just as eager in a football game to want to make an impact. That could be an interesting battle because I don't think Saka's played against a left back around the same age so far this season anyway, or maybe last season as well, where you can say, oh, they'll go toe to toe, pace for pace. Malacia's good going forward as well, but Saka's also good defensively. So it's a good back and forth. Not gonna lie to you, Dallo versus Martinelli scares the hell out of me. Because Dallo on a bad defensive day is that's gonna be a terrifying experience to watch. So hopefully Dallo can actually behave himself today. In terms of your
sorry, just before you go any further, how did you enjoy? I shouldn't say enjoy, but then how did you actually react to the goal Nuno Tavares scored against United? That was at the Emirates last season. So. That was against Dallo. Coming.
Remind me of the goal.
Nuno Tavares.
You know what? I have a saying: when you have Shaw and Maguire in defense, everything falls apart. So, that's just how I explain that. But yeah, no, still, it's still gonna be a weird one. But I mean, we even started Tellez that game as well, and you saw what Tellez did. That stupid foul he gave away as well for a penalty, which was just unnecessary. So, I don't think Malacia does that. Malacia makes fouls, but he's very careful in the box. He's shown that already so far, and he's very short time at United. So I'm not worried about that. In terms of your defense, Sancho versus Ben White is an interesting one for me, and it might not even be directly Sancho versus Ben White. He might have a lot more of Rashford on his side because Rashford likes to go on the left a lot. Having those two on his side is interesting because I know Saliba will go and help out on that side. I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but there are two very different forwards. Rashford is very much the get at you, whether he's on the ball or off the ball, he's going directly at you. And Sancho is more of the space investigator. He wants to get into the little pockets and see if you can find him. He's a lot more of a dribbler, close control. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys deal with that dynamic. But I feel like Rashford, if he does stay as a pure 9, he's going to target Gabriel. And the reason why I say that is because Gabriel, as well as he did scoring that goal to win the game against Fulham, he was making a lot of mistakes against Mitrovic. A lot of mistakes. In the first half, he got lucky about 3 or 4 times, and then he was caught out in that second half. That's a problem. Xhaka has been playing a lot more forward. So if that means Lokonga has a lot more defensive responsibility, I don't know enough of him to say he's going to be good or bad or whatever. But you've got Eriksen creating from deep, and you've got Bruno Fernandes, who, again, for me, he's not been in good form for about a year now, but he is someone, no matter how bad the form is, somehow manages to contribute a goal or assist somehow. And if they're able to pick him up, or will they pick him up is the question rather. So there's a lot of interesting battles there because, so far you've been very good defensively, but I said it to Cahill on our pod on Tuesday that this is your first real test in terms of teams challenging to also be in the top 4 with you. And we'll see how you guys deal with that. And it's just a tougher challenge for us as well because we got a lot to prove. We started the season abysmally. Like it was just, there's nothing to, but we've come back. We've got wins. We've looked better defensively. But again, this is a challenge because Gabriel's on great form. Martinelli's always a problem. Odegaard and his creativity is ridiculously good. And Saka's not started the season well, but he's still young, so that doesn't concern me. If
not young, he's tired, man. He's knackered.
He's knackered. So
he's playing every game possible.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting. I think there's gonna be battles all over the pitch, but I think the winger fullback dynamic for both sides is gonna be very interesting to see. I think there's gonna be a lot of goals if one of them is not doing their job properly.
Now, with all being said, Cahill, of course, spilled the bean with his predictions, but then I'm going to be going into detail around that. So I'll stay with you, Koja. I'll ask you, if you were to come up with a prediction, who do you think, what would be their prediction, and then who do you think would be the scorers?
I like that because that's what I do. I always go for the scorers regardless. Okay. I'm gonna back my boys. Obviously, I'll never not back my boys.
You sure about that?
Well, I say that unless they're playing Man City or Liverpool, then I never really back
there you go.
But no, I'll back my boys this time. I think we can. I'll go for a 3-1. I'm going to be optimistic.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to go for a 3-1. And what I think it's going to be 1-1 at half time. I'm going to be very detailed about this. Going to be 1-1 at half time. I think we'll take the lead through Rashford. I think Jesus will immediately hit back. I don't think it'll be a very long lead. But then I think we'll sneak a 2-1. Go on.
Just on that, you said Jesus is going to score, right?
Yeah. Yes.
There's been 49 times when Jesus scored in a Premier League game. The team has never lost. How about that for a stat?
That's a beautiful stat. You said 49. That's history, man. So that's history, man. So I'm ready to break that too.
I'll tell you one more stat as well to sort of to sweeten the whole thing. He has never scored against United. So.
There you go. You know, funny enough.
But you broke the jinx, right? You said he's gonna score. So
yeah, we're breaking all jinxes this time. 49. but one loss is coming, make it 50. So yeah, no, I think he'll score. And then second half, I'm gonna go for Bruno Fernandes to pop one, and then I think off the bench late.
Like the penalty that he scored last time.
You know, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. He ain't scoring no penalties. That's not his job anymore. When Ronaldo comes on the pitch, because that's what I was going to say. We're going to win a penalty. He's going to be very, very dubious. VAR.
wow.
VAR's going to come and do stupidness again.
Oh, the referees are gonna help you out again.
Oh,
yeah?
no. I think it's going to be a penalty. And he's going to say no. And then he's going to be told to look at the monitor. And they'll say, oh, yeah, it's penalty. And then, no, I'm joking. I don't think it'll be a penalty. But I think Ronaldo will probably close the game in added time. I think you guys will be going, not for Brook, but I think you're going for the win. Or for the equalizer anyway, if it's a 2-1 situation. And I think we might just get a bit of breakaway and Ronaldo will just put the game to bed 3-1. But that's my prediction.
Yeah. Cahill, so you mentioned 2-1. You still stand by that, and then who do you think?
I'm not standing by that. I'm gonna be very confident. I'm gonna say 3-1. I'm gonna say 3-1 now.
Okay.
I feel like I do believe Jesus will score. I also think Martinelli will score. I think Martinelli. What Coach just said with Martinelli versus Dallo, that's gonna be very interesting. I think he will cut in on him and just snapshot into one of the bottom corners. That's what I think is going to happen with Martinelli. Jesus maybe a bit of trickery in there, maybe gets in behind with a pass from Sambi, maybe. But I also think we'll probably get a goal from a corner as well because we're doing quite well from set pieces. One this year and last year, especially with the introduction of that set piece coach. So I think Gabriel
definitely
might also get on the
doing fantastic work at the back.
Yeah,
I think what I like about Arsenal overall this season is even if we were to concede a goal, we've been able to immediately bounce back and then go on to score back at things. So if United were to score, that's just going to rile up this team from at least what we've seen so far. So, but yeah, no. To coming into the back of it, it's going to be pretty interesting. Many of them have actually said Arsenal will likely get a win as well. They were due for a win last time, but we ended up being on the losing time.
Ronaldo, man, Ronaldo. You can't. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the player.
But I think many of them are touting this team to be different, and then they expect Arsenal to go on to win. Obviously, with one of them mentioning that there's goals coming from Xhaka and Martinelli. With Xhaka playing in an interesting advanced role, so we don't know if we could actually score a blinder like the one that he scored last time around when the teams met. So. I'm going to predict again a 0-1. Interestingly, I can think of a clean sheet. I don't know why I'm thinking that with our defense. It's sort of we are either rock solid or we are super poor as at times. So I don't know, but somehow I feel we'll be pretty resilient. Arteta sets his game up, especially playing against bigger opposition. He has a pretty good game plan, I feel, and I think we might be able to keep a clean sheet, and then we might just sneak a goal. Is what I could think of. This is going to be a narrow game, much to the amusement of many of the plethora of attacking talents which both team has. It could be a narrow game, is what I could think of. But yeah, I think. That's pretty much in terms of what I wanted to cover. Did you guys have anything more to add?
No, I think
it's just going to be a fun game. This is a game that we grew up on. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's it. I'm hoping it's not a narrow game because we've had many narrow games in the past, and I think this team, both teams going into this are on the up right now. So hopefully it's not narrow. Hopefully we're the ones celebrating at the end. But I want a good game. I want a fiery game. I want a feisty game of the Arsenal and Manchester United of old. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, exactly. That's what made it so passionate. I've always said we've had the best rivalry in the league, no matter what. I know in terms of derbies, nothing comes close to the North London derby. In terms of just hating each other, I think Man United and Liverpool have that. But when it comes to Man United versus Arsenal, there's hatred. there's history, there's title chases, there's wars.
There's a lot of respect as well.
So much respect, and like we have arguably, in my opinion, anyway, the two greatest captains in Premier League history that went to war on many occasions. You beat us at Old Trafford, we beat you at Highbury. We beat us at Old Trafford again, we beat you at the Emirates. It's just a back and forth, and no matter the era, whether it was the time where you guys were struggling towards the end of Wenger's reign, or where we started to just spend a lot of money and do niche with it, one way or another. One team is beating the other, and that's what we want. It's a great game. So, I want to repeat that more than anything.
Awesome. No, definitely. I'm more looking forward to this game as a football fan. Of course, I'll be looking at it from an Arsenal angle, but then this game, as you said, it's most brilliant games that we see every season. I just hope that both of these teams pick up their form and then go up to the top of the table where they rightly belong. Both of them, it's because it's been too much occupied by noisy neighbors from
too much, man.
No, totally. No, thank you very much, guys. It was a real pleasure having you both on board, and then having this fun chat, I would say. Because we discussed quite a lot, much more than the game. So definitely the best team wins, and I hope the VAR doesn't intervene. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.